Welcome back, everybody. Today we were riding 2 north out of Parkersburg, and we're going to be jumping onto 2 just slightly above Parkersburg there off 77. 2 runs, 4 lane, like almost up to Waverly there. So we'll be starting where it's 2 lane and going on. Now this video goes all the way to Chester at the top of the state where 2 actually ends, but we're just going to New Martinsville today, the north side of New Martinsville in this video, right about where my finger is. Yep, that's where we'll be stopping. Now, we're jumping right out here where it comes down to the 2 lane here. If you want to jump onto it at any point in time to ride it there, you come up 77 or off 50 on the 77, or wherever. The 2 has all kinds of roads off of it, all kinds of places. You'll see as we go north here, you'll have the I think it's the 18 connection, 16 connection, and further north you got like 250. I mean, there's a lot of roads that connect with this. This is a great road for circles. There is a lot going on with this road here. From where we started right there, when you get off of now this is going to vary a little bit. Like I'm going to give you the rough mileage and time from like when you get off 77 to the north side of New Martinsville there. You're looking at excuse me, you're looking at roughly about an hour and right around 45 miles. So that's a rough estimate, just simply because traffic and such. And on the south side there out of Parkersburg, there's some stoplights and stuff, but nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing when it's 4 lane, but so I, you guys are going to have to bear with me. I've been sick the last couple of days, and I was going to try to wait another day before I'd done the voiceover on this, but the time constraints, it's very hard for me to have a half an hour of time to sit down when it's quiet and do a voiceover, so I kind of had to get it done today, and I apologize. I'm a little nasally and coffee, but I'll try to get through this. Now, a lot of this down through here is like your manufacturing, your plants and stuff. I want to point out something. It'll be very quick, but I've never noticed this on these plants. Like, this is a long straightaway, and it looked like that plant was coming for 10 minutes, and it took us forever. That just kind of shows you how big those things are. But the hourglass looking ones, I've never noticed, and I knew that they were cooling towers, but it just never dawned on me. I don't guess I ever seen one, like, really paid attention to them. In the bottom where they're open right there, if you look real closely, you'll see the water flowing like little waterfalls. I just thought it was cool. I'd never seen that before. Right there, you can get a good shot of it, and I was like, holy cow, that's kind of cool. But that kind of stuff is all up the Ohio, or the river coast there, however you want to say that. But you run into a lot of that and towns and stuff. But there's a lot of cool towns. I think it's Belmont. There's plenty of places to actually stop and look at the rivers and stuff and views. Yeah, Belmont right here. I thought this little town was gorgeous. And also, while I'm on the apology track here, my camera was facing too far down. This drove me absolutely nuts while I was editing. But it is what it is. I can't, I can only check it so many times before I put it on my head. I usually will do like a 5-second clip, make sure it's, up far enough and everything. I have a buddy riding with me on this ride, and like we had a hectic start to the morning. It was every time we turned around, something went wrong, and so it was just one of those, you know, things that got it actually fell off to the side. One of the bolts or the little nut things come loose, and it was a crappy morning. So, but I do apologize for that. You're looking at my dash. I hate this view, but it is what it is. So, but this road, for the most part, here on the south side, uh, just getting started in this, most of your road, because most of it, you're riding alongside either a cutout wall or an open valley. Uh, you got pretty good roads. Now this comes and goes, but at no point did I run into anything, and I think I did have the chance. Um, it won't be on this video. There was a couple where there was some bad places, but I'll point those out. Now, if there's any like bridge people out there that you know love bridges and stuff, I think they're cool. I probably wouldn't drive a couple hours to go look at one, but I really do think bridges are cool. We ran into some bridges, and I can't remember where they're at. I mean, there's bridges throughout this entire ride, but there's some super cool ones up north, and I tried to get them as best I could, and we'll see them in later videos. There's St. Mary's here. This road's rough. Pretty much anytime you see concrete, just imagine it's going to be rough. And so that is what it is. But most of these little towns are, you just kind of blow through on the main street. Now 16's right up here at the stoplight, and you can hit 16 and go right back around. We've done 16. I actually done it right there to that. I pulled into that Taco Bell parking lot, and but this was a good ride. Now it was a long ride. It was extremely hot this day that we done this. Of course, like I've said before in the last video, it's either raining, on and off showers all day, or it's 105 degrees. So I had to get them in when I get them in. So here we are. There's at no point in time is there any place that like you're going to go 100 miles without seeing a gas station or food. So there's several, like once you get into New Martinsville, there's several real good restaurants, and especially on the north side, you got your big chain restaurants and stuff like that. It's your set down stuff. There's a jail right there. I don't know what security it is or what it actually houses, but I always just kind of point those things out. You got some amazing views and stuff, and like I said, they're throughout the because there's a lot of mileage going up the water's edge here. Man can find a place to pull off and look at stuff. There's I think it's on the other side of St. Mary's, which we might have passed already. I already lost where I'm at. We should probably be right about there, actually. Yeah. And if you go over to Newport on the Ohio side out of St. Mary's, there's a little ice cream joint over there called the Jug. We always stop there. Big bad bikers need their ice cream before they can go all the way home and stuff. But regardless, that's an awesome place to go. They have food and stuff too, but their ice cream, I think me and my buddy, we got them the like medium. They're like blizzards or whatever. I forget what they call them, but it was like $10 for both of us. I was like, I paid that for one at Dairy Queen the other day. So their prices and their amount that they give you is awesome. I'm just sharing that because I don't think I've ever ridden on a ride with other people that didn't stop somewhere and get ice cream. But I guess that's the type of people I ride with. Diabetes. But as far as this road goes, there was several places I was going to point out. I know everybody probably gets tired of hearing me harp about them, but there was, I think, at least a handful of places already where trucks had pulled out and there was mud on the road. Uh, Now, you know, anytime you've probably tried to ride this summer, it's been within a couple days of its rain. So there's going to be that. But this road here has an awful lot of big truck traffic. So you're going to have, and a lot of sideline roads are like that where uh, the trucks pulling out like it's their stations or whatever. And now these big power plants and stuff. Usually, any of the power plants and things like that, their lay down areas is all either paved or concrete, so they don't really drag anything out. But the amount of side roads on this that are unpaved or stone and mud, it is insane. So you're going to have small debris on the road and or mud. So just keep that in mind. Now, on this section here, you're not going to run into any 15-mile-an-hour turns that are blind. So most of these are long straightaways with slight bends in them. So it's not terrible as far as seeing what's in the road, seeing what's above and in front of you and things. That's not to say that something won't sneak up on you, but I do like harping on that because I believe that the firm believer in the worst thing a biker can get themselves into is gravel or mud on the road, because once you lose traction, it's all but over. So I do, and that's one of the biggest thing. One of my biggest fears and concerns, like riding in the mountains, you have those people that, especially if they're pulling a trailer, they get over into the berm and drag the stone back on the road with you, with their trailer, and you ride into it, and sometimes it's unavoidable. I've hit some, and I've done my fair share of skating across the road, but see, like right here, then that's a lot of water drug out on the road. Is that harmful on a straightaway? No, but you know what I mean. It's just one of those things. If you come into a turn with that kind of water laying into it, it could be. So, but you're laying into these turns. You're like, well, I can avoid that mud, and then you go into it, and there's a straight truck staring at you in the face. It's a little harder to get out of it. You know what I mean? So, I just like harping on that because to me that's one of the bigger safety things riding. And a lot of people anymore, get a little sidetracked in their vehicles, and these roads, they have a bad habit, especially the long, when you got long straightaways like this, and you're looking at everything, and there's a bunch of stuff going on, you kind of get lulled. You know what I mean? You're not paying as good of attention to things or looking. You know what I mean? So sentence your senses aren't as heightened. You know, you're not as attentive. But anyways, so that's one of those things that because I find myself every once in a while, I'm like I just woke up or something. I'm like, holy cow, I wasn't paying attention to anything at all. A lot of sections of this road are patchy like this, slight broken up. It's rough, but it's not like rough. There's your 18. That is the 18, the end of 18 North right there, and you can jump on 18. Like I said, there's 100 different rides you can do off of this road. But to me, this is a very, very enjoyable road. Sorry, I was trying to. Yeah, we're coming into Sistersville here. Like there's these, these little towns. They're not really little. I mean, I call them little towns because I don't know. But this is about your average size town. It's not Morgantown or Charleston, so it's, I guess, little town. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I guess I do. You know what I mean? So, but but yeah, oh this section here, like I was saying earlier, you can if you didn't want to ride all of two or whatnot or whatever, you can bounce back and forth. A lot of people jump across the river there and ride 7, Ohio 7. Uh, it's some will tell you it's a better road or it's faster. I think it is faster. I don't think it is faster, but they don't have you don't have the towns and the turns, and I think that's why. But if you're going to ride 2, but this, when we did this, we actually rode all of 2 all the way north. Then we rode 7 from where it from its hard turn up on top of the state, and rode it all the way back down to, I think it was not Sistersville, St. Mary's, and jumped back across and went home. But I think this Sistersville here is where we got you'll have this hard turn. Now, you'll have to pay attention to the signs if you've never rode to before or been in this area, because it kind of bends and winds around up here. There's a hard turn to the left up here at the end of this little straightaway. And most of them railroad tracks, I was making fun of my buddy behind me right there. I was like, that railroad crossing was super rough. But yeah, it kind of winds through, but you shouldn't have any problem. Just that one stoplight right there is, it can be confusing, but you just gotta pay attention to the street signs. There's some stuff to stop and do there in Sistersville. So, and it's all in what you want to stop, look at your time frame and stuff like that. But back to you can jump off this and go to 7, or you, like I said earlier, you got 16 right there. Then you have 18 right behind you, right behind us there. Then 180 before we come into St. Mary's up there. It's like a connecting road. It literally is just a connecting road between 2 and 18, and it's a cool road. It's almost turned into like it's a big oil field area, so it's a road for them a lot. It's still a cool little road. That's if you're going to New Martinsville, mostly that's how everyone goes. They go up 18 and jump on 180. But I mean, there's so many circle rides there. Just pull up a map and look at them. It depends on what area you're from. You know what I mean? If you're from this area, you pretty much know. If you're from a close area, check a map and check it out, because there's a lot of cool little areas. You know what I mean? A lot of cool things to go see. I forget. I think is it in New Martinsville? I think it's in New Martinsville. If you jump across the river, I'll have to see, but there's a lookout. Like, you can look all over the city. And I think it is in the town across from New Martinsville in Ohio, and you can see everything. But I can't remember off the top of my head right now. It's not something that's it might be Clarington. It might be there in Clarington, Ohio, where are in that vicinity. I can't remember the name of it. There's a little sign there It's not a big tourist thing, but you can ride up to the point. It's up this little back road and get up on it, and it overlooks the river and stuff. I actually thought about stopping and doing it on the way back, and then like we were just cruising along, and I forgot all about it like completely. So I apologize for that because I was going to throw it in the video, when we go through that area. I was going to show the town, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? You start, trying to get 400 miles in the day, you kind of forget things. So, but as you can see, most of this ride, like we're coming into fall now, so like in a couple more weeks, man, you'll be able to see a lot more, and it'd be gorgeous over there because you got the, this is obviously a huge valley. You got the Ohio right there, so, but that'd be absolutely gorgeous, in a good fall setting. But this road comes and goes on traffic. It depends on what town or area you're in because what's going on in that area. So that's it is what it is. Some places have more truck traffic than other. Right there's your 180 kickoff, and like I said, that'll run you right back to 18, right above. I can never remember the name of that town. My Atlanta. I've worked there in that area forever, and I can never remember that town. Middleburn, and but it's a cool little town too. But as you can see, all these ditch lines are full, and there's a lot of water alongside the road. Like pull out like that. If you've seen that, guy pulls out of there, he's dragging water and all kinds of crap out on the road. So yes, I'm back to harping on that. This little the Martinsville here is a really cool town. There's a lot to it, but you got the railroad tracks here, which they're not bad railroad tracks. You can ride right across them. Got a bunch of stoplights, and they got road construction there right before you get to the northern side. It's not terrible, but it's still all down to one lane. But now that road right there, that will take you. That is actually the start of 7, and 7 runs clear over to Maryland. Actually, I think it's right above Red House. Runs right through Morgantown. We'll have that one coming up hopefully in a few weeks. That's going to be a long day for me, but I'm going to try to get it done. But that's a really good one. And you go out through there, I think it's like 4 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles, and your 20 kicks off. Now, I have done all of 20 from Clarksburg south to the Virginia line, but I did that northern part right there that runs from 7 all the way to Clarksburg. I did it on another channel, and I am going to do that again, so it'll be on this channel. I don't know when I'll get around to that, but them are 2 major routes right there that come off of 2 right here. So just be looking for those. All this straightaway here is either banks, restaurants. Their park is really cool. I think they got a lot of stuff going on there. This town pretty much has everything like a big town would. So there's a lot of stuff to do here if you want to stop and take a break, or ride up there to buy a side by side or go to the park or whatever. But they got some sit down restaurants and everything else. And it really is a cool town. Back there where the Ace Hardware was, I forgot to point it out because I was talking about something else. Back in there at the old Main Street, it still might be Main Street. I don't know how they do that. But back there's the courthouse and stuff like that. But there's a restaurant back there, Quinette's. It's like a great big buffet, like real American food buffet. I don't know how you say that, but it's a buffet and you get buffet food, but it's pretty good for buffet food. But like we used to take a lot of rides just to Quinette's. So, but right here's where you're starting the road construction. Remember, you want to go straight through if you're going to stay on 2. If you veer off to the right there, you're going to end up in Ohio. That's where you wrap around and it takes you right across the river. Now, right through here, I'm sure they'll have a fix, but this is rough right here. Right there to the right is Ohio. You just go up and you come right back over top of yourself right here. But if you go straight right here, right underneath this bridge, yep, this is the northern side of New Martinsville, and up here is where there's a Ford dealership, there's big shopping centers and restaurants and stuff like that, gas stations. So, I mean, I don't know if most people don't think like New Martinsville and, this area's got, Wheeling's the next big town. New Martinsville is pretty massive, and there's a lot there. So it up to this point, this is a really good ride. So, and there's stuff everywhere, but you do got to watch yourself coming up through here. I do advise if you're going to ride this road, ride roughly the speed limit. Most of it's 55. Stay at 55, 60. There's a lot of pull-ins and pull-outs, and bikes move faster, I guess, because people can't see them. I'm just pre-warning you. But want to say that I do thank everyone that does watch, and we got plenty more coming. We'll have the rest of this. I don't know how many more videos it'll be, because I've got more than, I think, 2 hours of footage left, or an hour and a half. So I'm going to try to condense that as much as I can, but I want to leave as much in there as I can for everybody to see. So we got these coming. I recently done all of 50 East, all the way to the Virginia line. That'll be coming. Like I said, I want to get 7 in and finish 20. Like I said, I've done it already, but I want to get it over on this channel. So, but I appreciate everyone who watches the videos. I don't care if you just like turn it on and set it down, and either listen to my voice or just mute it and watch the terrain go by. But we do appreciate the views. Ask you to share them. I want you guys to comment. Tell me if I'm missing anything else you want me to point out. So on and so forth. I don't know what I'm missing or what people like unless you tell me. So just continue to do that, and we appreciate it. We got plenty more coming, so just stick with us, and we appreciate you guys, and stay safe out there.